Now, out of all your episodes, I mean, all these sketches that you made so far, is there any like particular characters or scene that are like your personal favorites?
You're probably thinking Dr. Hacks, right?
Well, I'm not sure.
Well, if you were, you would be wrong. He is actually, I don't like him. I don't really like Dr. Hacks all that much. He's got one line, he's got one function, and once you see him, you know what's going to happen. People are constantly asking me to put him in another video. I don't like him so much. My favorite character is the Metro Cop, known as Number One. The reason being is because he is like some he's some crazy commando metro cop, yet he's got the mind of like a 13-year-old. And
The
when he
ultimate
wants to
fanboy.
beat you up, yeah, when he wants to beat you up, he's gonna beat you up, and he's gonna do it in these extremely strange and off ways. And like he will, it's like I've said in my blog, he will try to win a boxing match by kicking you in the nuts. It doesn't matter as long as he gets his way. I like him the most. He's probably a little more. He's a much more well-rounded character, and he was definitely a favorite when I did the Treat or Else video. He was being the main protagonist for that one. But yeah, I definitely like him the most, and that's why I oftentimes, pretty much always use him in the intros because he always launches them in such hilarious ways.
I know.
In
Well,
terms of my favorite skit, probably the intro to Idiot Box 7 when he's chasing that YouTube moron around who asked about the video description, and he seems to struggle in starting up the most mundane objects like starting up a door and starting up a phone and being chased all Terminator style around his own house.
and it just ends in the most anticlimactic way that he just hits him in the nose with a phone. And
Yeah, he's going to respond to a minor annoyance with a minor annoyance and a broken nose.
I mean, well, personally, I like the Metro Cop as well because to me he just shows so much emotion in one way, but without even showing emotion with his face because
Yeah,
he has none,
he has no face, he has no teeth.
and yet you can just tell his emotion by just his movements. So, uh,
Yep.
so is there any? I mean, the world of machinima is now pretty huge. I mean, is there any machinima that you like in particular? Is there any like series or one-offs that you like?
Yeah, I definitely like Civil Protection by Ross Scott. It's one of my favorites. I especially loved the Shadow of a Doubt episode where he's talking to that one civilian who doesn't seem to be casting a shadow, and they're sitting there completely perplexed and trying to figure it out. Another series was RB and the Chief. It's not exactly machinima. I mean, yeah, it's using little toy action figures and stuff, but the writing is hilarious, and I love Microsoft Sam in like a childish setting. It's really funny. It didn't really. It kind of fell flat on its face when he started doing RB and the Chief in LA, which is the most recent. I don't really know what happened with that one,
Well,
but it just kind of.
he's not writing it anymore. It's someone else.
Well, see, that would explain it. That would explain why it seemed really short, and I don't know. I just didn't like it at all. But before in LA, RB and the Chief was definitely another favorite. Even though I, even though I can't stand Halo as a game, the two characters were just perfect together. Halo Master Chief was the personification of your, instant gratification, trembly dude, and Arby was the voice of reason. Definitely like that. And then of course there's DJY 1991's movies that I help him out with from time to time. Fancy Pants' videos when he works on them, when he gets around to them. He doesn't post often, but it's definitely another favorite.
Now, what what can we, the fans, expect from you in the future? What other series ideas are you coming up with, or what can we just expect?
I'm working on a mystery Team Fortress 2 project right now. The reason I call it mystery is because I don't know what to title it, but I do know the basic script for it. Now, if I don't really script very well, but the basic idea, I have it pretty much down. The name, I don't know yet. And then I'm going to do the 10th episode of the Idiot Box. Of course, I gotta do something special for it. I don't know what to do that stands out the most yet. I'm gonna figure that out later, but I'm gonna work on this project first, the Team Fortress 2 one. In terms of other series, I have nothing in mind right now because I just kind of do these in my spare time and when I come up with these ideas. So I definitely don't write any of these. These all come to mind and then they just kind of put themselves together. It's hard to explain, but I mean, for example, Treat or Else, it was never supposed to be the way it was today, but it just kind of fell into place, just like everything else. So I never plan anything because when it's planned, it's not funny. All of my planned stuff usually sucks. So I wing it, and that just kind of works out. So I don't know. Aside from those two projects, I don't know what else is going to go on. I know something's going to go on, but it'll come.
Now, I mean, there's a lot of people out there trying to start their own garage mod machiniverse, me included. But what tips can you give people out there? Like one tip, if you could give, what would it be?
Be patient. Be patient. There are too many people that they start working on something and then they just don't want to take the time to open Photoshop or work with keyframes in their editor or anything like that if they're using an editor that uses keyframes. The patience in filming.
Ragdolls.
There's a lot somebody can do if they just...
Ragdolls, that's another thing.
Yeah, ragdolls. There's a lot of practice involved in Garry's Mod. You're never going to be able to get the contraptions going your first time around. It's best to practice maybe in a server or with friends or something. Just kind of, have fun on the game, figure out a couple of things, and then, yeah, just take the time. If you really want to make a really good production, it's not going to happen overnight. It's definitely not going to happen within maybe not even a week. It could probably take months, to properly do this. Maybe, because it takes me about a month or two to do these videos because I just do them in my free time in between, everything else. So it takes time, but if you've got the patience, it's definitely going to turn out.
Well, thank
you. Could probably, on a side note, you could probably play a drinking game with how many times I say definitely on this interview,
Well, that sounds like a fun idea. Probably do that later.
Yeah, don't do that. You'll die of alcohol poisoning.
That'll be worth it. So
yeah, I suppose, depending on who you are.
So, thank you for everything, and thanks for coming on the show. You've been a terrific guest.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I get this right now. DasBoSchitt? Am I getting it right?
DasBoSchitt.
What he said.
Yeah.
I've been Caboos15. Catch you next time.